All right, we're back here with the Chaos Lab and Controlled Chaos, Episode 3 with Travis and Eric.
Oh, those were 4.
No, this is 3. We filmed 4. They haven't paired 4. 4 comes out after this one.
Yeah, okay. Playing with y'all. I keep you on y'all toes. Yeah.
We're basically sitting here on the platform what will be our first WRPF meet. And surprisingly, we already have some work to do, so.
I wasn't even going to say anything.
That's an understatement.
Damn.
Learning curves. It's all about learning curves, which I am happy to have very experienced people to help come down and run this, because otherwise it would have been just a mess. First, let's kind of get into what you guys do together and how you guys met.
Dude, that is kind of a cool story, though. How
That is cool.
Yeah. Before we even get into that, man, I just want to say I'm really appreciative, Sean. I'm really glad to be here. Yes, we have work to do, but I mean, like, me and Eric said that right off the bat. Like, we're happy to be here. Like, we want to help. I think this place and what you're doing so far, including tonight, like, I squat and deadlifted last night. I benched tonight. Have a phenomenal crew of people. You have a great community, and I think you're doing a really good job. So, I mean, honestly, you could only do better stuff from here, including the podcast, including me directing, including everything. But you obviously have a really good group of core people here, not only that work here to help you, but also just in general at your gym. So be negative and all the shit you want right now, but dude, you have a very positive group of people behind you, so you should be fucking proud of that, man.
My humor is very pessimistic, so
it's dry. It's very dry.
You'll be a lot better off after we leave here.
Yeah. But I mean, in a good way.
oh yeah.
We appreciate that.
That wasn't like
No.
motherfucker, you need us. Like, it wasn't like no, not at all.
I
man.
cannot make y'all drive 4.5, 5 hours down here every time I need help.
How far was your drive?
It's only 2.5.
2.5.
roughly,
Yeah,
just
two and a half?
Mine was like
Wait, where are
5.
you from?
I'm just outside Annapolis.
Oh, I thought he was like with you.
No, I'm on the other side of the bridge.
He's with me. He's like with me, but not with me. We're close enough. All right, so we'll get into what we do. For those of people who aren't familiar with me, my name is Travis Rogers, aka Papa Bear. I've been raw lifting for 10 years, doing the second 10 in gear. In gear and on gear, it's like the darkest side of powerlifting you could possibly go, pretty much. I don't think you come back from that, really.
I gotta put that in my bio. In gear and on gear.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like, why wouldn't you say that?
It's show on the shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
In gear and on gear. Like, I feel like people who are natty as fuck would still buy that shirt.
Yeah, I would buy it.
Yeah, right? It's got a good ring to it. All right. Coin that shit immediately. Don't let Sean put it on a t-shirt before we do. So I'm part of the EC board. We don't really like to call it like the board of directors or EC. We don't even really like to call it EC board. Just like the core 5 people who are in charge of the WRPF would be myself being one of them as the referee manager. So what I do is I write the tests, I do the back of the scorecards, give practicals, train other people, give practicals, help wherever I can, and basically just be a larger implement and tool for the WRPF. And Eric is a guy who has been working with me way before the WRPF when we had the USPA transition, went through really hard times. And before I let Eric introduce myself, I'd speak very, very highly of Eric as I literally tell you, everybody, you're my right-hand man because I fucking trust you with everything. So, and above that, Eric keeps me fucking sane. So I don't lose my shit. Yeah. So
I'm Eric Martinez. I am a Maryland WRPF ref and new meet director. I've been powerlifting for roughly 5 years. Started in 2019. CT is my first coach, and then started with Travis as a referee doing my practical in October of 2021, shortly after my second meet with USPA, where I met Travis.
And that was at the Power Build meet, right? And this is Power Build, not where's the other Power Build? Conchi, right? So this is King of Prussia. This is KOP. That's way obviously more popular now.
They look nothing like what you see on videos today.
Yeah. This is KOP when like
before the pre.
Yeah, when CT was like, what we talked about this last night. It was literally like the guys in the back drywalling it while this meet was going on, and it was the very first one. They had the rented out
rented out porta potty.
Yeah, I mean, but it was legit, dude. That was one of the most fun meets I've ever had. Me and Eric met because you were lifting with your brother, correct?
Correct.
Right. And did we talk that meet or just kind of in passing?
Just in passing.
Yeah, in passing. I had a blast at meet and kind of like met Eric indirectly through that and just kind of in passing, and then later on we got hooked up with the practical and stuff. Yeah, it was that summer. It was later that summer, right? Because I did
my test I think in August, and then we met like late August, early September before the practical. Just I came down
right because it was Summer Slam, right? Yeah, Summer Slam. And that gym was fucking slammed at the time, dude. It was super popular for like a first meet, especially in the area. I mean, because everyone's there to support CT. Everyone was getting more into. Was that split? Was that all untested?
It was all untested. 2 platforms, 120 lifters.
Yeah. It was a crazy ass meet because they flipped platforms in my flight like right before it ended. Yes. Right? Yeah, we jumped flights. Like it was wild, man. It was a good time. But it had a lot of heavy hitters. Me, and that was like before I got injured, so I was still lifting really heavy raw. It was like me, Phil Herndon, Zach Myers. The girls were stacked too. Gabby was there putting up some crazy weight.
Beal, Johnny Kaufman.
Yeah, a lot of the younger guys. Fucking
Sergio was there.
Sergio was there. Yeah, because I had that awesome photograph of me and him that I talk about. That even made it to one of the Elite FTS articles. Yep. Yeah, man. So it was a cool meet, and not only was it a cool meet to have some of the older guys there, like lifting hard as shit raw, but seeing some of the younger guys come up and talk to them, and like again, like that picture of Sergio, like be able to like resonate and see the younger guys coming up and try to set that example of like, hey, these are the guys who have been here for a while, but what you're doing as a younger lifter, you're doing it right in the sport. And like it was cool to acknowledge those guys, and I got to meet a lot of those younger guys at that meet.
Yeah, I think they had 2 flights of women that meet.
Yeah, it was just a big meet all around.
I mean, we're just watching it online. I mean, it was a pretty cool event. We had talked about going up there because I think one of the days was just pretty like open, just like a lifting party.
Oh yeah, Friday. Yeah. They do Friday night at the bar.
Yeah, Friday night at the bar. Yeah.
That gets crowded. Everybody's up there.
Because I'm real, kind of like internet friends with their main videographer, Sue Trent.
Sue's
Sue's
awesome.
Sue has done some of the best photography I've had, dude. And I've asked his permission, of course, to pass on stuff to like Kabuki's done photographs of me with like the belt with the Duffalo bar that Sue's taken that they've used for advertising. So I mean, it was cool to help him get his name out there too.
Yeah, Sue, he one of those people where he don't care who you are, whatever question it is, he gonna answer it. He always gonna. He led me on the right path as far as just like certain shit that I want, like certain style, like helping me find my own style and just certain shit like equipment wise, like what works best for me, yada yada and stuff. And just
I'm not gonna front with you. I'm excited to see some of the pictures you took when we were just like bullshitting around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
No, I'm excited to see those.
You get a brand new camera and everything too.
Oh, that was brand new.
Hell yeah.
Like last night and today.
So yesterday was a different camera, but the new one came in today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, like. Going back to Sue and CT and them, like that's some of the people we talked to at the American Pro. Mm-hmm. We were like what 2-3 weeks out from opening this gym.
Yeah,
and we were still like there talking to them about different strategies, how to make it have the same culture that they have, how to make it grow faster, things like that, like keys to success.
And it's crazy you mentioned CT because I mean I've said this on CT's podcast, I've said it on a couple podcasts, man. I'm never ashamed to say it, like. Especially on the Eastern Shore and on like the East Coast, like CT is one of the few guys that I look up to and I hold to a high standard because like, dude, like CT is one of the guys who's building his brand, building his gym, but still he very much caters to the lifter and it's especially evident at his meets and it shows he gives a fuck.
They're packed.
Culture is everything.
Yeah, but I mean, and he knows that, but and never once have I felt like I've been around CT and he like sold out.
Right.
Like, I never felt like that around him. Yeah. I remember I did a meet and greet deadlift party with a bunch of guys. My name was on the roster. Like he had the cool like picture with me on the poster with everybody. And it was my first one back since double quad surgery. Mm-hmm. So like to even still be like up there was really cool to me. And I'm like, bro, these guys are like dogging big weights raw, and I'm just like,
there's a lot of strong lifters.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, I felt like at that first time, man, I felt like I was like, even though a younger guy, like I'm already a washed up lifter because I'm
washed up pulling 7+. Like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, like. That was like
just rip 7 off the floor. Right. I'm washed.
But washed up compared to like. It is weird the way we talk about like the younger lifter crowd coming up because like 7 ain't shit to them.
No.
You know what I mean? If you think about it in that aspect, the growth of the younger generational lifters right now is astronomical, man. And they don't give a fuck what bar it is. Like, it's power bar, it's a stiff bar, it's a fucking kabuki bar. It don't matter. Motherfuckers pulling big numbers.
So do you feel like what is it called? Just the anomaly of you can kind of just drop the bar, and that lesson of fear is why deadlifts are big numbers now versus like a squat or a bench. So like,
you mean like looking
the trendy
at, okay,
lift
I see what you're saying. No, I think that's a cool thing to talk about, especially. I don't know. I mean, you do see bigger lifts from the younger generation, more so in deadlift. I would agree with that. I would say, like, you know, if we're just using like social explosion and looking at more things like king of the lifts and things like that, like you're much more inclined to see from the younger generation definitely a deadlift, right? Like, I know even when I was more popular in there for Raw and shit, like, bro, like I was like,
your basement deadlifts, yeah.
I was like, bro, you ain't gonna see my bench on here. Like, I'm not getting picked up for bench on there, but like, it was deadlift, and I would been on there for a couple squats. But yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's more the ability to be more aggressive and get more views that way socially. It plays a lot of in the. Not saying they're doing it just for the social, but I think that aspect and that lift in particular can get hyped so much quicker, right? Yeah. Like, how much easier is it to have a group of guys stand around you and fucking hype up one platform and get buck wild with it? You know, in a deadlift party, like, I mean, when you think of like a party with one lift, like nobody's like, let's have a bench party. Like, no one's excited about that. And I mean, squats are, you know, It does get hyped, but I think you have a lot more people that it's a much more, you need to be together in a very much more safe and controlled environment. So like you're saying, like, people can throw the bar, you can get hyped, you can let it go, but you got to hold all your shit together until you walk out from under a re-rack on the squat. You know what I mean?
I think it's also because ideally deadlift is the lift that you're loading the most weight on too. Yeah. So that no matter that number is going to sound crazy, especially when you put into perspective like somebody that's like a 67 kg weight class and they're loading up 700 plus pounds, deadlifting it, like, that's fucking crazy.
I hate deadlifts, dude. I do.
They're meh. I hate bench.
I like bench now. Don't know why.
It kind of switches.
Yeah. I mean, I think with deadlifts especially too, you have like I always thought it was the one that was, even though like I was good at deadlift, I feel like it was the one that always would be like the most inconsistent at meets for me. And I think, of course, that had a lot to do with like, if you cut weight, when you refeed, your hands swell, so like grip might become an issue. Long days, depending on what meet venue you're doing, always plays an issue into your seconds and thirds, even though you've maybe pulled them in the gym already. Like, I think all that factors in that a lot of younger lifters haven't really played that end game yet, right? They're still very fresh in their powerlifting careers in their first year and a half, maybe even 2 years, where like that kind of playing style, if you will, like hasn't really been a contributing factor to their success. They haven't really started to reach a top end yet, especially with deadlift. You know what I mean? But once you start looking at all those things and you stop, you know, aiming in particular for one lift and making it about the total, then I think you're going to start to see more of a change where younger guys start to play smarter.
Yeah.
So what's been, between the both of you guys, the most impressive lifts? Like, out of all three, out of all the competitions you guys have ran over the years, like, what's the most?
So we're talking about ones like we've particularly like been working at and seen in person.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Nabil's 700 at.
Yeah, which one?
The second one.
The one
in October.
At Good Guys. At Good Guys 1. Yeah. All right, so actually, yeah, I would say because didn't he miss it twice?
He did.
Yeah, he was literally about to bomb out. And I had personally invited him. I had personally invited him back and been like, hey, there was contention with judges, with online presence about your first pull. I want you to come back to my place in front of really high level judges, strict ass judges, and pull that shit and leave no question that was a good fucking lift. And he missed it twice.
Yes.
And everybody was like on the edge of their fucking seat at that meet, and he fucking pulled it in front of who were the judges at the time?
You, Candy, and Doug.
Me, Candy, and Doug. So it was like two
gray shirts and a blue shirt.
Yeah, so 2 world level judges and a national.
Close second would be Phil's 906 and sleeves at Exile.
Yeah,
just a couple months ago, whatever it was.
One of my favorite lifts, dude. I think my very first meet we had at the cave, No Luck 1. No Luck 1. It's so hard to believe that's gonna be No Luck 4 this year. Yeah. It's been such a small amount of time. Like for me to be able to say, this is my 4th annual meet for No Luck at my own gym. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, where does the time go? And I can't wait for you, like, to have that realization.
Yeah, our first anniversary meet will be in October.
Yeah,
because we had our that's just nuts.
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling, and I know you and me talked a little bit. We had some good talks yesterday, man.
Shit,
we really did.
I'm kind of in it now because I asked him the other day. I'm like, "What beat is this number 8?" He was like, "Nah, dog. This is now 10. Number. Yeah, it's 10. 10. Damn, we had 10 already.
I know, right? That's a lot, and jumping feds too, doing different feds.
Right.
And that third fed, technically, we had one charity, so we ran 4 different organizations out of here now.
That's awesome, man. But back to that original question, I think one of my first ones, for me, that was crazy impressive and nerve-wracking. I was coaching Zach Myers at the time, and he came, and we hadn't even put the fucking horse mat on the floor yet in the warehouse room. So it looked like everyone was lifting with it looked like you were lifting in a fucking cafeteria, like lunch lady style. It was awesome. And, we all had masks on because it was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people are like, oh, the fuck you with a mask. Well, dude, that's what we had to do at meets. And not only that, I didn't tell many people this. I got a fucking call from the health department the night before we had weigh-ins and had to explain all my protocols and safety things we had to put in place. And then because I took those measures, they were super cool about it. And they could have easily shut that shit the fuck down.
Yeah, we've had friends up north that had meets that the health inspector came down and shut the meet down in the middle of it.
Yeah, and that could have easily happened to us. But instead, I got to witness and shit my pants in my fucking khakis, backspouting Zach Myers. I think he took 890 in sleeves, and that ended up being the total the meet whose total he broke Larry Wheels' 275 all-time world record total the first time. And then we did it again. Zach was still being coached by me. We did it again at the American Pro, the first one. But that was probably one of the craziest lifts I got to witness. Let me think. What's another one I was fucking buck wild to watch? I don't know, dude. That one meant a lot to me. But me and Zach are super close. So we don't get to see each other as often as I would like. And even though Zach's being coached by MJ Greeno now, me and him are still very close, very good friends. And he just broke the 308 all-time world record total at my meet 3 weeks ago. And it was crazy to me to be able to watch him do it. And then also not being his coach, but just being his friend and there for him. And we joke around. We're like, bro, the cave's your spot. You've broken 2 all-time world records here in this building. And he's like, no, man, this place always means a lot to me. Doing it here means a lot to me. Dude, both of us balls deep crying on the platform as soon as he walked up. He didn't even make it to me to get the award. We're just dude, it's always been like that with me and Zach. And it's just really cool because he's such a very chill and humble guy.
Oh yeah.
But and he doesn't showcase a lot of emotion. So when you see him cry and stuff and be that vulnerable, it's just bro, it's awesome to see, man. So
yeah, I mean, lifting with him, yeah. The first time I had to spot him, I think he was in prep for that meet. It was that 5-man team again. Learned how to use a monolift, learned how to 5-man spot at your cave, and it's he missed the first one. We were just like, "Are you good?" And he's like, "I'm fine. Let's go again." We went again, and he got it. Whatever the number, I think it was 8 something.
Yeah, we were in prep. Yeah,
because we got on King of the Lifts, and I was like, that's my arm. I was on King of the Lifts.
That's my arm on King of the Lifts.
And then like later
look,
on
Mom,
that week, it's like after the seminar, he's like, hey, I need someone to kind of spot me on this bench. I'm like, okay, cool. What are you going for? He's like 564 just for 5, and I'm like, what?
Excuse me for how many? 5.
That's my squad.
I can't even count that high.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, it's been a really cool thing to just see the amount of talented lifters that have come to our meets and come through the cave and like been part of like our extended like family, man. And it's just like, for me, it's an honor, and it's such a different feeling to look at those kind of situations, and where I used to be like, you know, so bent on training and so, you know, wanting to do my thing with my own totals and my own goals in powerlifting. But now to be on that other side of the fence as a gym owner and a meet director and be like, look at all the friendships you made. Like, look at all the impacts on people's lives you're having. And that was like a very real conversation between you and me yesterday, where you're starting to see that and feel that. And it's a fucking different feeling being on both sides of the fence, man.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel the same. I mean, like I said during last night's talk, it's just during those last couple of deadlifts, you're looking around the room just going nuts. Yeah. You just feel the energy, and you're just like, I can't believe I helped bring this together.
Yeah, I think the best part too is that we'll have spectators that just come in and they watch the meet. And they're like, damn, I got to do immediate chaos.
Yeah, no,
I've literally had shit. That was my coach when he came here to handle me when I competed here in March. And he immediately after that, he's like, dog, I got to do a fucking meet here. Yeah, this shit's crazy. And he literally signed up. He ended up getting him and like 5 of his other friends that signed up for the meet in October. I'm like, damn, you was dead. He was like, hell yeah, bro. I gotta compete at chaos. And then even just like, you know, we still have like friends and just other people that we see every now and then, just like get week passes or day passes to just come through and stuff. And you should even just here on like a lit day or like a Saturday, they're like, damn, I gotta compete here. I wish I could be here more often and stuff. It's like, motherfucker, you can't just make that drive. Don't matter where you are, just make that drive.
I mean, 2 of the kids that are competing today, or tomorrow, I mean, they drive from Harrisonburg to come down here and train because they want to compete here. They want to train in the building. So they drive from JMU like 2.5 hours, missing all the gyms in that area to come here and train.
I think that's the craziest part too, because we had somebody from Florida too.
Oh yeah, Jack.
Yeah,
I had him in the last US.
It's like, damn, we in Florida. How the fuck we get to Florida?
He was like, oh well, I seen your gym online. I like your pictures, your videos that you do for us, and then he was just like, I had to compete here.
Dude, I mean, it changes you as a person. Like when you start hearing those stories, and you start seeing those things, man. It really does. I know it definitely changed me. Like you don't realize like how much you've invested, but then like on the flip side of that, how much of what you invested is changing other people, like making them want to do stuff just because of like what they see of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild, dude.
I think it's also it makes us go harder too.
Yeah.
Like, it makes us more humble, and it makes us want to push even further. It's like, all right, damn, we made it to Florida. All right, shit, we gotta make it. Sean, we gotta get Arizona next. We gotta get Cali next, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, like you'll see it sometimes where it's like you'll bring out these lifters, these special people that come out of nowhere. Like some of our videos go viral. You see them on King of the Lifts. You see them on YouTube getting reviewed by people. My coach's circle of people will be like, oh yeah, we saw. Like my man over here squatted 8 something, ended up on King of the Lifts, no sleeves. And it was just like, yeah, that was his first meet.
Dog, they were literally telling him the commands.
Yeah, he was learning commands that morning.
Literally.
He borrowed someone's belt in the warm-up room before that 3rd attempt. He had no knee sleeves.
Solid day.
Yeah, not too bad.
Solid day. It's all right.
So you can read it better.
I can read. I know. I wrote the questions.
Oh, so I can read. My fault. I wasn't saying that.
I woke up and could see. Just like a fun question. Where did your name, Papa Bear, come from?
So it's weird because I just kind of reflected on this story really recently because one of the new guys at our gym is on the force, and he's 6'5".
Jeez.
So he's literally a foot taller than, literally a whole foot taller than me. Nicest dude ever. His name's Nick. Weird because I wanted to give him a shout out on here, so I guess unexpectedly, here's the shout out now. So shout out to Nick Akri and Andrew Newell, 2 of the new guys at the cave right now. So looking forward to coming back and seeing you guys. Nick was wearing my belt, my old double prong like camo. It was my first custom belt I ever had, and so back way before like the foundation was an actual 501c3 charity, and before I had like EIN and stuff, me and Joe Pauline, another history teacher at my school, we used to take kids to like all these powerlifting meets, and we generally would do RPS just because like they didn't have membership fees. I mean, like we didn't have a foundation yet, so it was 2 broke ass teachers taking all these kids with like fucking hand-me-downs to meets, like from my after school club. And my school I work at's high needs, 90% free breakfast, free lunch, really rough area, like heroin bust, like everything's government housing. So like it's a really rough area. A lot of teachers quit. I've been there for 10 years now. So I'm an actual like veteran teacher now. It's weird to kind of consider myself that. So a lot of kids come from broken homes, and like I never wanted kids, and my wife never wants kids. Like I'm not a big kid guy. As far as like, I mean, I think this is like a very true and selfish thing of me to think about, but like when I look at like what I'm doing for other people with like the gym, with the foundation, with all this other shit, like that was always enough for me. So like I think for me, not wanting kids, like I always try to put that line in the sand. Like if I had kids, like how much would that bleed into everything else and take away from everything else and ultimately make me unhappy? Because if I'm unhappy, like you can't pour from an empty cup, dude. You can't do for others if you're constantly like run down and tired. And like we talked a little bit of that yesterday too. Because it has an effect, because everyone expects you, like you and me talked about. I said this to you one day, Sean, like you're going to be that guy. You're probably starting to already be that guy. Like you're the man. You're the dude that's in the middle of the shit, solving everyone's fucking problems, because that's who you are as a person now. That's who you are as a gym member. That's who you are as a meet director. That's who you are in this federation or multiple federations. Like you become that guy. And I mean, Jess always joke around. I don't know. I've talked to Eric at length about this. Like, wouldn't it be cool to go back and just be a lifter? Like, remember when we used to do this shit for fun and that was just it? Like, you didn't have any other responsibilities. Like, you just lift like it was a fucking hobby. But I digress. Off topic. But so me and Pauline were taking kids to meets and coming from broken homes and stuff. Like, a lot of kids, you know, didn't have mom and dad, didn't have stuff after school, and kind of fell in love with powerlifting. And like, a lot of them, you know, just started calling me dad. And like that fucking changed me immensely. Like it changed everything about me. It helped me stay in my sobriety. It helps me stay clean. Like it helped me make decisions knowing that there was kids that fucking called me dad. And I never had that before. And I like there'd be nights I'd just get done with the club and like go in my car and just like fucking close the door and just fucking cry in my car. Cause like I just didn't know how to fucking process that at all. Like that somebody would look at me and consider me like a father figure with all the shit like I've done poorly in my fucking life and try to get together. And so, when that happened, they just started calling me like Papa a lot. And then kind of grew into this thing where like they were like my Cubs and like the Papa and the Cubs. And like eventually, Pioneer did a Christmas sale and like all the kids like, pitched in money and bought me a custom belt, and it said Papa Bear Rogers on my back.
God damn.
That was my first belt I ever had. I always have that belt. So when I saw Nick wearing that belt training with me the other night, he was like, it was a cool belt. And I was like, yeah, dude, that fucking belt means more to me than you'll ever fucking know, dude. I've had that belt for like 10 years.
That shit making me want to ball up just thinking about it. Because God damn.
Yeah, dude.
Who cut the onions up in the
Sorry, bro.
It's like Freedom Riders, but like Travis, and it's like,
God damn, man.
Yeah, it's weird to think about like how long it's been since like all that stuff was such a prominent force in my life and like where it evolved to. And while we're on that topic real briefly, shout out to Joe Gray. Joe Gray, if you're listening to this, man, I appreciate the shit out of you. I don't get to tell you that enough. I fucking hate when I do podcasts. It reminds me of what a piece of shit I am because I don't thank all the fucking people that got me here enough.
We love you.
Yeah, thank you. Joe Gray runs the garage gym competition, so that started in COVID.
Oh, okay.
When all the meets got closed down. So he started running that official garage gym comp there. Anyone could enter. You sent your videos in. You counted the weights. You entered it on the big-ass spreadsheet. And this motherfucker does all this in his spare time. Cool. Like, it's not his job. And he's wildly successful out of getting sponsors. They've had, like, Juggernaut. They're giving away fucking ghost racks, like, all kinds of shit. So I've competed in it and sponsored it every year since it came out. And he usually gives back to a nonprofit as well. So this year, Joe has partnered with me as the official fall sponsor and nonprofit for Garage Gym. And I'll post that link and shit when it comes up. So I just designed their fall t-shirt with all the sponsors on the back and stuff. And so when you commit to it, like Joe donates $1, but in the t-shirt sales donates $1. So all that money goes back to the Papa Bear Strong Foundation, my charity, which is, we base the needs of the charity around what's going on at the time. And right now there's a huge food shortage. So all that goes directly to our food pantries in the surrounding districts to feed kids during summer break, winter breaks, and also goes to winter drive clothing because we have so many kids that walk to school. So shout out to fucking Joe Gray. So thank you for reminding me on that and telling that story. So never get a chance to tell people like that. They're fucking appreciated.
What's your sob story?
yeah. Sorry,
I got one of those.
Super fucking sad, real quick.
Nah, it's fun to have like real stories sometimes.
Yeah. You always get stories with this guy. So
I try not to have the real stories all the time. Get dark real quick. So, I don't know, dude. Those things used to really like, and I know Eric has seen me. I mean, honestly, like Eric, like in the short amount of time you've known me, I think you have seen me change the most. And like what I mean by that is like I think about the kind of lifter I was where you and me met, speaking of the Power Build Mill, like, you know, like 2 years ago, and how much of like an intense lifter I was, like fucking dude, like crying on the platform and just like being in my shit like all the fucking time and like being very like emotionally invested in it. Now to like, I think about, I jumped in a bench only meet at my gym to help the referees see like what equipped bench would look like. And like, bro, I don't even have fucking headphones on anymore. I'm like cutting up with people in the warm up room. We're like talking like bullshit. And like, I'm just such a different person than I used to be. And I think it's just because of like, not only the, like the stress of like trying to do this and doing it for other people, but like you really start to compartmentalize things. Like you really start to separate them, like who you are as a lifter, who you are as a meet director, who you are as a gym owner, and eventually who you are as a person. And I think all these things really change, dude. Like this, and I've told this so many times and said this in so many fucking articles and so many podcasts, but like whenever I say this shit, like I truly fucking mean it. Like this sport has given me absolutely fucking everything. It gave me my wife. It gave me a second chance at life. It gave me my sobriety. It gave me some of my closest friends. It gave me people like Eric who I fucking depend on. Like it gave me fucking everything. And so when I say that shit at the end of our meets, I'm like, I sincerely hope this gives back to you as much as it gave me. Like there's no truer words that have ever left my fucking mouth.
That's real as shit. I mean, it's like I feel the same way too. Because I think before getting into this, you know, growing up, I was always an athlete, and then so when it got to college, you know, it stopped. So I didn't really have like that. I didn't have like that sport that I was like, you know, constantly playing or like trying to practice that and get better at. And then got into the gym just to, you know, like not get fat. So, you know, got to the gym and just to, you know, do, and was kind of just doing whatever, but I was bored and I didn't really, you know, have any like direction. I was kind of just like, I'm kind of just going there, just do whatever. And then kind of got into basketball back again a little bit, like just playing like pickup at commercial gyms and shit. And then But it was just like, yeah, this is boring as shit because it's like, I'm going to the league, so it's like, why am I arguing with these old heads? Why am I putting it all on the line at AmFam? Like, it's not worth it. And then my girlfriend Laurel, she was into the fitness YouTube and was watching like the influencers like Christian Guzman, like owner of Alpha Lead, one of the biggest influencers from Virginia, Max Tuning. Yeah.
I always forget he was from Virginia.
Right?
He literally went to Midlothian.
Yeah, I always forget, man.
Yep. So we was watching him and stuff, and then that's when I started watching him, and then somehow I came across Russ Wold because he did a video with him, and then then I'm like, shit, what's this guy doing? And then I'm like, powerlifting. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I was looking into it. I was like, fuck it, let's just try it, and then. Just a couple years into it, and it's just something that is just, it's just fun, and it's like, I think the coolest part about it is that going into my first meet, I literally didn't know anybody, and like I went into there, it was just my coach, my sister, and my girlfriend. They were all just supporting me, and I could say that I walked out of there with at least 5 friends. It's great. I met my fucking coach at my very first. My coach now. I met him.
That's wild, dude. How long ago was that?
That was 2018.
Damn.
God
so
damn.
like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're still with that same coach.
So it's crazy because we had So this was before I had transferred to VCU. He was already at VCU, but when I met him, it's funny because he was fucking competing too, and we just warmed up with each other and had talked a little bit, and then after that, we just got in touch and got in contact. And then his friends also became like my friends after that too. And then later on, we remembered each other and linked up at VCU. And then a couple years later,
it's weird hearing you tell your story when we're like 20 feet away from like 2 of my athletes that are like watching me. And I'm like, my athletes are in this gym right now. Like, come out, like, both just came down to like hang out and train with me and fucking spot me and shit.
No, when I put you on the story, like I'm telling you, people were like, "Oh my god, Travis is here!" And like I saw them walking up, and I'm like, "You're here for Travis, aren't you?" They're like, "Yep." I'm like,
dude, but it was so weird because yesterday I told him, I was like, it wasn't like that. I was being like outwardly friendly especially for me after a fucking 5-hour drive. Like I was like being like super like, hey man, is it cool if I deadlift on the platform next to you? Like just like shit like that. And everyone's like, oh yeah, you're cool, man. I'm like, are you using this? Like just overly polite and stuff. And I was like, I felt like I was back in the high school weight room, like when I was training with my kids. My kids got to the point where I was so much fucking stronger than all of them. Instead of them wanting to lift with me, they'd be like, that's your bench in the corner. Go to your bench in the corner and go be strong over there. And like no one wanted to hang out and train with me and lift with me. And I felt like that yesterday. I was like, yeah, no one wants to be my friend.
One of our members, Ian, the big guy you've been talking to, he texted in our IG chat yesterday. He's like, where the fuck is everybody, dude? Papa Bear Rogers isn't in here. Why isn't anybody at the gym yet?
I told you. Meanwhile, Eric's avoiding everybody. He's like, I don't like anyone.
No, it's not even close. No, I was like you. My first meet with my brother. I was back home in New York.
Yeah.
So it's just like 15 lifters, me and my brother, and didn't know anybody. Second meet, 120 lifters, me and my brother. Met some guys I know on my platform. I still talk to several of them today. Third meet was at the Cave for in June last year. I came to the Cave. Had tons of friends I met from the referee perspective, from lifting perspective, just from meets. You just make friends that like some have influence on your life. Some are just friends, and some are like Travis, where like your brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like it's weird too. Like Eric says that like I'm an only child, and both my cousins are only children. So there's like fucking 3 of us in the whole family. That's it. So like it's weird to like. I think it's different for me too, because when I talk about like people I'm close with and like people I consider family and trust, like it really is like that for me. Because like I really didn't like it was small growing up, so like I never really had that. Like when people are like, oh my family's down, it's like fucking 30 people. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
That's my family.
Yeah, I was like, who's got families this big? My family's like, all right, family's here. I was like, there's 8 of us total. Like that's like a family gathering for us. So it's
my
like
wife's family is.
Yeah. So it's weird when I hear like people like refer to you as like brother and stuff like that, because like for me, that means something different just because, like, I don't have a brother. Like, we always had small families. So, like, and I think this is very true for Eric, too. Like, when we talk about, like, our referee team, like, bro, there's a core group that is fucking tight. And, like, it's not just people you, like, oh, we're referees and we work together. Like, bro, it is fucking changed some of us, man. Like, it's, bro, like, I fucking talk to you, like, at least every other day.
Well, now you have to.
Well, forcibly
I work for you in, like, 2 different ways.
Yeah, but, like, I mean, but, like, I don't, it's
Yes,
it's just so different, man. Like I said, and I keep saying that, man, it fucking changes who you are as a person. It truly does, man. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. So, like, I always got so upset when, like, you know, like, especially when I got hurt really bad. That, like I said, like, it was that one time.
Which
like,
time, bro?
fucking a lot of times. Like, when I get hurt, like, fucking, like, taking myself out. And then just people were like, yo, you're so stupid. Like, why would you go back to this? Why would you've seen literally, like, one of the lowest points in, like, what it's done to your body and shit. And it was just like, I always felt like if I stopped, like, other people that knew me would stop or lose something that they hadn't gotten from the sport yet. Like, not that I needed it, but, like, if I stopped early, like, other people might not, like let that fizzle out in them. And I knew that, like, I wasn't done, no matter what capacity that was, either as a lifter. Like, obviously, I know I'm never going to compete at the same intensity I used to. I mean, fuck, dude. I tell Eric this. I'm happy to be here. Like, I'm just happy I can still literally still work out. Like, you know. And then, you know, it's just
longevity.
Yeah, because when I first met this guy, I was on the flight before him in power build. So, like, after squats, I just went in the back and relaxed. After bench, I went in the back and relaxed. So after deadlifts, I don't have to relax anymore. So I got to watch his flight deadlifts. Like, his last deadlift time, he's just standing there. Headphones are on, in a zone. Like, there's no talking to Travis, like, at all.
Yeah.
And then you meet him now and you talk to him now, and it's like, hanging out, having a good time, joking. Or at meets crying.
Yeah, always crying. Yeah, I told Sean this yesterday. I'm the biggest pussy at meets. Oh my god! If you've ever been to a cave meet, I cry every fucking meet. Like, most of the time, I don't even make it to. Like, I used to at least make it to, like, someone be like speech, like, from the back, and now it's just like people open the box of awards. I'm like, It's like, it doesn't even fucking take nothing to make me cry anymore about it.
At least get home.
It's funny you say that because I think for us it's kind of like, in a way, kind of like the complete opposite to where I think for us it's embedded that we have to. It's like we got to prove to, I guess, in a sense, we got to prove to our members that no, we actually do this shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. So, like, our story. I met Clay at the last gym. We used to work out, same with, like, Ryan, who's over here also watching us. Yeah. We were in a commercial gym that didn't like us because we were deadlifting, we're squatting heavy, we're yelling, we're playing loud music. And all that. And they wouldn't let Clay use his videography or photography the way that he should be, which is powerful. Like, his images are fantastic. When I broke off, I was very distant. I was very by myself because I was like, man, like, what am I going to do? Because this crew kind of, like, looked up to me to know, like, what we were going to do at that gym. So I was like, let's start this. Clay immediately quit. All the guys quit and came. So it was just gratifying to see that, like, oh, like, my team stays behind whatever I do. And from then on, it's always been like, whatever we go through, we got each other's back. We're there. There's not a time that I can't text or call these guys and be like, hey, this needs to happen. Or, man, we just went through this. I don't know how we're going to do this part, but, like, we're going to figure it out. And when it comes down to meets, you'll see us, like, you see me and Clay just running around, their heads cut off. When it gets towards the end, we'll kind of just look at each other and it's like, we're making it happen. Yeah. And it's stuff that people told us that we couldn't do. We'd never be able to make it. There's not a market for powerlifting. There's definitely not a market in Virginia, and it's like,
you guys are selling out meets already, like, it's your job, man.
And early too.
Yeah,
this means we sold out for a while.
I mean, like, the first meet, I actually had to miss it. I was in a wedding, and shit. So I'm like,
freaked out, dude.
We have a 45 lifter meet to USAPL, so I was like, okay, well, we'll be fine, I guess. Like, full staff is there, just not me. I came in, like, maybe just super early to touch up some things, and I had to leave, go to the wedding, and I'm just looking at the security camera just to keep people filing in. filing in. And I'm like, oh shit, we're going to hit capacity. And we ended up getting like 150 spectators out of those 45 lifters. It was packed the entire day. And I'm getting complaints because of just how packed everything was. And then from that point on, it just grows. Like our last competition, we had 400 spectators. 2 days, 106 lifters. And that meet sold out in December of last year.
That's impressive.
That's good numbers, dude.
And so like this meet, when I posted it pretty shortly after the whole cataclysm of the last federation, it sold out pretty fast. And when people just drop out, someone takes their spot. They'll message me, hey, is there any spot? Like, if I just did like one lift only, can I get in? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'll ask these people to see if they have this spot open or not. But it's exciting to watch the sport grow the way it is and how it's affected so many people. Like, everyone in here competes. Everyone in here supports each other, like you saw. Like, everyone is watching how you did single ply today. And they're like, so you doing that next? You going to bring that here? And I'm like, they look to us to do that and open those doors. So
Sean looking at me like, Travis, you motherfucker making me cost more money, bro. You bringing different specialty bars and shit.
That damn bench bar.
right.
Dude, no, I was fucking with a couple of guys. Like, hey, man, it was great to meet you. Make sure you tell Sean he sucks he didn't have a bench bar. I'm not leaving here till my man is definitely spending $700 on a bench bar.
That was the thing, though. In NAMFAM, like, I would be the one that buys the bars.
Yeah.
If we need something for training, I'm buying it so that we can train with it.
Yeah.
And then put a key on it so no one else, like Jim Pop, can get to it. Because I would probably end someone if I saw someone.
Them Prolock lock collars, man.
415 pounds on it doing rack pulls.
Yeah, we used to have a little Titan 6-bar holder at a World Gym. Or was it a World Gym? Yeah, it was a World Gym in Millsboro, Delaware, that me, Jess, and like 2 of our friends would go to, and I had Prolock lock collars on like the tops of the bars and shit, and they just let us keep it in there until they got bought out, and then that's when I got the barn, and then that's when I got the cave after the barn.
Yeah. All I had was a closet, so I just locked that up because I came in one morning, I saw someone benching with one of my Texas deadlift bars, and I didn't see them do it, but it was just on the rack with chalk on there, and I'm like, just like internally shaking, like, what are you? Yeah.
It's weird you say that thing about like who you can call and would like drop shit for you. Because I remember when like we first started going through the Federation drama and the switches, or in my case, second time going through Federation drama and weird switches. Like I remember talking to you and like, dude, I feel like your whole spiel on this podcast is just sit right next to me, so I can just be like, this guy right here, the shit, the shit. But I remember talking to Eric and he was just like, whatever you decide, I'm in. Like, there's no questions. There was no, hey, what about if we did this or looked at this way? It was like, you told me whatever I chose, you would back it. And that was just it.
Yeah.
Then it's fucking, when I need shit, this is the man I talk to. Period.
I mean, because when all that shit was happening, he was asking me and Chandler and Ryan are the guys about like.
I love. By the way, shout out to fucking Chandler. I love Chandler, bro. When he came down into the practical at the cave, he fit right the fucking.
Man,
like,
it's the mustache.
You gotta, dog.
They make him like lovable.
When I tell you, you gotta be in here one day. He's lifting because I think Chandler. I told him this the other day. Chandler has the best. Out of all of us, Chandler brings the best energy out of everybody when he is lifting.
Got it, man.
Because it's like everybody is crowded at whatever platform he is at, and he is getting lit, getting ready for his
growls.
And he just gets everybody he brings that aggressiveness and just that hype out of everybody just watching. Yeah, I'm
excited for him, man.
We are definitely.
He was super excited we were gonna be here, but at the same time, he was like, "Oh man, we could have ref together." Like, and dude, and just like, and I said this to you earlier, just a showcase of what a stand-up guy he is. Like, motherfucker weighing in to compete, and the first thing he looked at me and Eric was saying, he's like, "Hey man, as soon as I get off this scale, like, what do you guys need?"
He came back.
Yeah, and he came back. Yeah, I looked at Sean. I go, "What I say about this guy?" And it's literally him approaching the door like 2 hours later, coming back again.
We have to kick. We gotta kick him out. Like, go, you compete. Like, get out.
Like, and I told Sean that I was like, these are the type of people you need to surround yourself with in order to be successful. You have people that have your fucking back. You don't got to ask them.
Yeah.
They just do it because they see your vision, man. They see what you're trying to do, and they congregate towards it, dude. They surround you with it. And, dude, when you have that energy boxing you in like that, it's only going to get better and better and better.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's exactly why I feel like everyone comes here, because they feel that energy of how cohesive we are, and that this is a home. Like, every time you come here, we're going to welcome you. We know your name. We know your lifts. I can tell you your favorite color most times. I can tell you that you normally eat this piece of toast on Tuesday at 8 o'clock because that's what you always come in with. Like, we keep that kind of, like, mindset with everyone because you're just family. That's why our sign says "Welcome home" when you come in.
Yeah, I did. I like that when I pulled up. I was like, "Hey, that's a nice touch, man." But it ain't no bullshit either.
Nope.
It's not, man. I told you that last night. I felt home here, man. You made me feel very comfortable here. Like, no doubt, and I don't say this lightly. Like, if I didn't have the cave and I was looking for a spot in VA, this is it. I will come here. And I've been to a lot of fucking gyms.
There's a lot of nice gyms.
Yeah, but people don't understand there's a difference between a nice gym with nice equipment and a nice gym with the atmosphere and nice people that need to go with it.
It's all about that atmosphere.
Dude, it is, yeah. I mean, shit, I felt it today. None of these motherfuckers knew how to spot single ply, and they're just like, all right, we're doing this today. My man needs us. And they jumped in and helped me out, man.
Again, it's like we hear that shit and it only makes us just want to keep going and just be even more humble. Because I think every time I hear that, I'm like, man, you impressed by it. You ain't seen shit yet. Just wait for it. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, we've had so many different pros in the sport. Like, you're one of the latest that come in, but like we've had people just drop in day in because they're just like, yeah, I had to lift here. They saw a sign online or something, and they're just like, yeah, I'll be back. And that means a lot because when I opened this, it was just for a home for everyone who felt accosted.
Yeah.
The ones who at Gold's Gym have their bars stolen. The ones at AmFam where we can't deadlift. The ones at UFit that it's like you got dumbbells up to 55 and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted you to have a home that you came to, and now I have top lifters who do go to these very nice other powerlifting gyms and gyms on the West Coast that are damn near next to the ocean, and it's like, yeah, you chose to come here, and I love that.
Yeah, they choose you.
Yeah.
Man. That says a lot about your gym and about your character.
And I think the coolest part is too, they always, are you going to be there that day?
They want like, are you going to be here?
Yeah, they want to.
Are you lifting? And I'm like, I can wait, I guess, but I'm gonna make sure that you get a rack first.
Yeah.
Let's go to question Eric. What's your favorite song right now?
That was so fucking random,
bro. Like completely separate, right?
It's all good.
Oh man, right now I don't know. Probably just I like old school rap, hip hop, so that's pretty much what I listen to. But for me, it's like anything ludicrous, especially right now with being in prep. So like anything big.
Only appropriate answer in front of me.
Yes.
Go.
So yeah, for prep, like anything big, it's always gonna be a ludicrous song.
You got to tell that story real quick.
Right. So at my practical, during squats for like second or third flight, probably third flight because we were sitting on the right hand side of the platform or left hand side, depending on which side you're looking at. The playlist was on. Ludacris comes on, and Travis looks at me and goes, "I would love to hit a PR squat on the platform to Ludacris." I was like, "Yeah, I could deal with that." So then I go down to the cave last prep for my meet, and I had to do RPE 9. So we loaded up my max, which is probably like at that point was like 10 kilos over what I had squatted before. It's like, "Hey Travis, I got 160 on the bar." He's like, "This is the first time you come to my gym and actually like maxed out." It's like everybody else comes down here, but always goes off program. You come down here, always on program. Now all of a sudden you're gonna go off program. So when I put the reel on Instagram, I put a Ludacris song on it. He messaged me, he's like, "Ludacris, really?" I told you.
Yeah, dude,
I had to for you.
Yeah, I was like, bro. And anytime we were together, there'd be a good song. Like, dude, someone played like some old ass Limp Bizkit. Like, I'm talking Chocolate Starfish and hot dog flavored water. Probably before that, though, like Break Stuff era. And I was like, bro, somebody don't hit a PR to fucking Limp Bizkit right now. Like, somebody disrespect Fred Durst right now. I'm fucking done. I'll shut this bitch down right now. But no, I still do that. So one of my one of my favorite bands is August Burns Red, and I have like a tattoo and stuff. But one of the albums that got me through a lot of stuff was called Challengers. Or not Challengers, fuck, that's Memphis Mayfire. That's the other tattoo I have. God, dude, I have way too many tattoos. Messengers.
I think you can use another one somewhere.
Yeah, we'll fit it in.
Maybe your forehead.
Yeah, forehead. Forehead's a solid spot. I feel like it's very recognizable. Like, you definitely gonna know who I am when I walk up. So every time we have the third flight of deadlifts of the day, last flight, last third attempts, we put on Messengers at the cave. And I just stick my head in the back. Even if I'm a head ref, I'll just get up for 1 second and pop my head. I said, here's the fucking deal. Messengers on. No one lifts and no one misses shit. And everyone's like, oh, fuck. And then so, like, dude, that's how we end every meet. Like, I won't even, like, let them come out. Like, I won't even raise my hand and be like, bars loaded. Like, I just go like, no, fucking put Messengers on right now. And it's cool, man. It's like, and you start building that because, like, it's weird because I've had other people go to our meets and like, yo, man, I forget what it's called. You gonna put that album on? I'm like, yes, dude. Every time. Like, you might not, you remember the experience, though. That's important, man. People like small shit like that.
Like, the crazy part about that, I competed at the cave in June last year. I ref on Saturday, competed on Sunday. Like, Saturday's playlist was, like, off the hook, like, squats and deadlifts. I looked at Jess. I was like, hey, can we get this for squats tomorrow? Like, I need this playlist for squats. Yeah. And for those that don't know, the holding thing at the cave is like office /
Yeah, we clean out like the office kitchen area.
Right, so you're sitting in there with everybody. You walk through a doorway before you get on the platform. Like, for me, like, I was bopping away in the warm-up room, having to chill out. In the holding thing, everything was all cool, dancing, hanging out with the guys. Some of the girls that were in there. As soon as I walked through the door, I don't know what song was on. I was like, just white noise, and here we go, let's roll.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been Ludacris, could have been whatever. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. It's that energy, though, man. It changes you. You can have a good song, but, like, sometimes it don't even matter. Like, you don't even hear that shit.
Nope.
I mean, that was the purpose of putting the iPad on the thing is that
I like that. I like that. And that's almost how I do ours at the cave. But, like, I saw yours even with the label on it. I was like, that's a great idea.
Yeah, we just throw on, like, one of me Clay's playlist that has, like, 400 songs on it.
Yeah. And
it's like you just hit play next if, like, you have a PR song coming up. Yep. No matter who it is, it's like you don't skip it. Like, if someone walks up and, like, touches the iPad, you know not to skip it for a song.
Yeah, because, like, they're queuing something up.
Because you'll get put on a blast if you miss with someone's song. I've done Clay once.
Fucking took on my song, dog.
No, I'll catch a couple of people too. Like, they're about to change it when somebody's about to go for a PR. I'm like, no.
Just smack their hand away.
No, that's
not right now.
All right, what's another question? That was a good one, though.
That was. That's a story and everything.
You got one more somewhere.
Random as fuck. Good question.
Let's talk about your coaching a little bit because we did talk about it a little bit off camera today. Like, in the past, you've said that you only program for people, but then today you talk about you kind of like do coach people.
All right, so here's my deal with coaching. It took me a long time to open coaching back up. So I coached for a while. I stopped and said I would only do programming only. And then I recently, within the last, say, year and a half, I opened back up for coaching. And I think a part of it was on me. Like, it took me to get to a place in my life where I became a little more mature with it. Not in the actual programming, but how to handle situations. Because, you know, for such a long time as a lifter myself, I have no empathy. Like, and that's just me as a person as well. I have a hard time empathizing with people. So, like, when you're like, oh, I didn't sleep, I worked this shift, my water's off. I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's all variables you could control. It's not my fault you suck to suck. Like, if you want to fucking do bad, keep doing your shit and doing bad. And so, like, I had a hard time empathizing with that. And obviously, that didn't go so hot for some people. Mm-hmm. But my thing is, now I only really accept people who are vouched for other people. Like, hey, Travis, my friend's interested in your programming. You know, like, they're really committed. Like, I need to have something like that. Like, I won't do strangers and stuff like that. And I prefer not to take on, like, newer lifters, which is weird because I know a lot of coaches like newer lifters because who doesn't want to take someone that's, like, just get into it and be like, bro, we added 300 pounds to their total between two meets. Like, of course you want that as a fucking coach. It makes you look great. You know what people don't want? They don't want motherfuckers like me. This motherfucker's been surgically put back together 3 fucking times, and we're going to go tooth and nail to add 5 pounds to his total, maybe. or
gear and
die
on gear.
trying. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah, dude, right. So like nobody, I think the other part of it was for me for coaching is like I love coaching and I love I was always much more into the programming. That's why I love writing for Elite FCS, because now I can professionally publish my programs. I just dropped one yesterday. A 4-day conjugate split with bodybuilding, which is a lot of people like, hey, I love watching your shit. So if you're wondering what my shit's been recently, I literally just published it on Elite FTS. So I mean that's been really important for me this year, just because it does give me that outlet. But I had really bad luck with coaches myself. Terrible luck. Terrible. And recently I just tried again and it was a fucking huge flop, and I told myself this is the last time. I'm never gonna fucking reach out to anyone ever fucking again. And I'm not going to. So I've been off and on pretty much just coaching myself for like the last 10, 11 years. And it's just gonna fucking stay that way. I'm done trying with people. I'm done getting like fucking promise shit. I'm done with people like, oh, I specialize. Bro, you don't specialize in fucking shit. I'm over everyone's fucking bullshit. So I'm gonna coach myself until I'm fucking done. So I think that kind of resentment too had me a long time where I didn't want to coach other people. So, but I rate both RPE based and percentage based kind of things. I'd say I'm a good coach if you like to be really uncomfortable a lot of times. So I enjoy that training style. So I think moving more into equipped lifting and moving more into conjugate style stuff really suited me as far as my personality as a lifter too, just because of the variations can get pretty fucking extreme and they be pretty fucking uncomfortable. But because of the spacing of it with your dynamic and max efforts, like I'm not putting myself at jeopardy as much as I used to, which is great for me because I love my legs reattached as they are. So I prefer to not do that a second time. So, I only squat heavy,
when I come to the cave.
When Eric's there, because I like to make Eric super fucking nervous. I'm like, hey man, you coming today? Yeah, I'll be there on time. Cool, I got something for you to spot. So usually only 1 to 2 times a month. I think people don't understand the nuances between coaching and programming, and a lot of people use them synonymously with each other.
I feel like a lot of coaches start coaching by just selling programs, and then they get a couple of clients, and then they honestly keep selling programs, but not coaching.
Yeah. So I think it's dependent on what you need.
Some people only need a program and some minor tweaks, a little bit of form correction, but the majority of people I feel like do need some stronger guidance.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. I just also don't. I think the way, like I said, I've been self-coaching and had a lot of rough luck with a lot of that stuff, and I think figuring it out myself and making me tougher in that aspect definitely has its merits to it. I think there's a lot of fucking hand-holding that I don't agree with, which is fine. You don't have to agree with my opinion. That's why we're different fucking people. But I think the hand-holding shit it's not for me, and it's not for anybody who wants to be coached by me. Not that I'm overly fucking terrible to my people or anything like that, but I had a guy, he's like, bro, last night had a glass of champagne. I was like, weird, random thing to tell me. Why, are you okay? He goes, oh no, you told me good job today, so I celebrated. So I was like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty solid. Saving that verse. He's like, you told me this looked good, and I was like, fuck yeah, I deserve this drink. I was like, all right, fair enough.
Now, yeah, every time Andy says good job or that looked great, I'll send him the little happy crying thing,
yeah,
you're so proud of me.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just think the position I'm in my life now as a lifter in my career, where I've taken more dude, I'm just fucking excited to be here approach, made coaching a much more viable option to me, because I wasn't constantly I'm not constantly pushing myself to where I was, which was obviously super dangerous levels. So I think your perspective changes as a coach as you advance as a lifter, depending on which way that sways. Whether you realize you're a maturity lifter or things happen that change you. or just in general. I feel like that's pretty much been like the whole fucking shebang of this conversation night is like shit just changes you.
Yeah, for sure. One other fun one, a very off-topic one.
Sure, why not?
All right,
Yeah.
so in the spirit of America and our
God,
Lord and Savior and GOAT, Joey Chestnut, how many glizzies are you guzzling in a contest? You got 10 minutes on the clock.
10
minutes. Whole glizzy gotta be gone.
I think. So, I'm not a trained professional. Honestly, I think I'm tapping out around 20, bro.
You think you can get 20?
20?
I think 20 is at the point. No, I think like.
bro, these just
He's
straight
slurping.
glizzies. No,
But I think.
no bun.
Actually, nah, I think.
They use bun. They like.
use buns.
So this is
Yeah.
with bun,
Yeah.
bro. You tapping out before 20? You
Yeah, I'm
fucking
go-
kidding?
I'm
me?
No, so I'm thinking.
with the bread. Nah,
no,
dog.
so I'm thinking.
I'll argue about this.
I'm thinking around at 17. That's where I'm thinking I can't do this shit no more. To where I'm thinking like, damn, I'm really about to throw this up. But
so
I'm
like
going
7
5 or 6.
Yeah, like
But-
17 glizzies with bun. That's RPE 10 for you, bro.
no, but I'm saying at 17, I'm 17. I'm thinking about quitting, but it's gonna be my pride. My legacy's on the line. I need to get 20. It's like I need to get this 3 more.
My
because
pride's gonna carry me to 20.
yeah, yes. Yes. Because at that point it's like it's like, damn, you got the 17, you quit before you got the 20. I feel like I'm gonna force myself to get to 20 no matter what happens.
I feel like we need to stop the meet tomorrow, like, and take our break, like take our normal break between bench and deadlift, but between squat and bench, I almost feel like we gotta see you try.
we gotta have a glizzy off.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not an off. I'm not.
you
I'm not involved.
It's a one-man show.
And I was like, I was just gonna get on the mic and said, "This motherfucker said pride to 20, so let's see it."
If he does it, we can continue.
Yeah, bro. What about if a whole meet was on the line?
Like your trip to Nats that's coming up. Like if you don't finish
Bro,
20, like
yeah.
Oh no, I'm getting the 20. I don't care what's happening. I'm getting the 20.
I'm not gonna lie, it's so fucking disgusting watching that shit happen though, because they've been
Right?
dipping it in the water and it's just soggy and it's just
Ugh. Nah,
I can't imagine it.
nah, not a good time, man. Not a good time.
I just don't. It's just for me personally. I don't see how you don't get tired of. How are you not tired of eating hot dogs yet? Because
I feel like this is a really long and elaborated metaphor for powerlifting.
but
Is that the secret intention of this question?
Well, I don't-
it's like you're really looking at me. You're like, how are you not tired? How are you not fucking tired of this bullshit yet?
I don't
you've
because
been eating hot dogs for 10 years now.
Bro,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, how are you
Powerlifting.
how are you not tired of? Because for me personally, I can't eat the same. I can't keep eating the same shit like that on a regular basis all the time.
Yeah, how many years in a row you been doing the same fucking style of programming?
5 now? Yeah, 5.
Oh, so we're halfway there.
15 more to go.
Well, that's
That's solid.
I don't think I'm making it to 20. I'm not gonna hold you.
Right.
Like I'm
You don't
bigger than
think
you,
you're
but
gonna 20?
I don't think so.
really.
Mm-mm. Life on the line, off. I'm gonna choke on one pause.
I think you're good for 25. I think you're good for 25.
Fat.
No, I just think you're good for 20. Sure.
It was a compliment. He's saying
Right.
you have the willpower that we don't.
They do this all the time. They always think I'm like. They always think I'm calling them fat or some shit. They do this all the
25.
time.
Nah, man. If we
Anyone's eating
get,
25, is
I
that
tell you
me?
what, if we could get Tim Brown and Josh Miller's vote in here right now, they would all put it on me.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hands down. Those boys seen the way I eat. They're like, where does it go?
Yeah.
Where does it go, man?
I feel you, but like, can you eat 20?
Not a fucking glizzies, dude. Like, can't you pick something better than that?
That's what the contest was.
I know, but I'm just
They
thinking
have
like
everything.
it's because I automatically go the most negative thought possible. Like I'm thinking some old cafeteria style, like boiled half-ass green, like hot dogs
I mean,
like that.
you do see that on the regular.
All right, wings.
Ooh,
All flats.
all
Ooh.
flats.
Yeah.
What flavor?
How long do I got?
Dry or wet?
What?
I was gonna say dry. I was gonna say lemon pepper.
I think if you did dry, the salt consistency is gonna make you stop early.
Okay.
Especially
Yeah.
anything Parmesan or garlic.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Or like Old Bay. Dry Old Bay, you'd be fucked, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wet honey barbecue.
It's weird, dude. I've never really thought about this question. And bone in, right? Flats.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, how do you even ballpark something like that?
I don't know. I'm going 50.
That's what
in
I was
high
gonna
school,
say.
you try it, and I definitely
going-
got 40.
Being
I was
from
gonna say
Buffalo,
around 50.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
A 50 would be a safe bet. I think I got more once we established some ground rules. I'd say 50 is a solid.
I grew up on wings.
Right.
Yeah.
We had like a spot back home, and like they did wing night. You pay $15, you get all you can eat wings. So me and the boys would go, and you get like 40 a piece. Yeah. Whoever don't finish, like they're the ones paying.
Born and raised in Buffalo, I can do some wings.
Ryan's over there waiting for this podcast to be over so we can go get some.
He is
Get some fucking. He's like, let me get this straight. You motherfuckers gonna talk about food when we're supposed to be going out to dinner right now. Talking about wingdings and how many glizzies you guzzling, and we're not out at dinner yet.
Have you seen Ryan eat?
No,
So
I
check
want
this
to.
out. The day that
I'm gonna tonight.
As soon as this podcast is over with.
we came up to your gym for that the coaching cert, right?
Yeah.
Ryan in the middle of it, he's like, "Hey man, you trying to get lunch?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like, so we go to Chipotle, right? I get my little chicken burrito, a little bit of vegetables, whatever. It's kind of a fit burrito. Ryan gets every fucking topping, like 3 of the meats, and double wraps it. And then towards the end of it, he's like, "Hey man, trying to go to the steakhouse that's by the hotel," and I'm like,
We didn't even pay for
guess,
Chipotle
man.
yet.
I guess, man, we get there. He had the fattest fucking steak. Had an appetizer before it. I'm sitting there like, I'm barely going through my appetizer because I still full off Chipotle. And I'm like, I see why you are such a giant man. Like, Ryan can eat. And he can cook. That's another thing. Have you ever had Ryan's cooking?
No, like, why the fuck would I have had Ryan's cooking?
Phenomenal, that's why.
Guess you're making another trip to Virginia.
Me and Eric are penciling in that part of your practical tomorrow. It's at the very end. You just haven't seen it yet. You have to check off the box, and we have to sign next to it that we've had your cooking.
I mean, he has a whole Instagram about it, too. Yeah.
You have an Instagram? A cooking Instagram? What?
Yeah.
Some wild shit. This podcast got random as fuck.
It did.
Super.
I told
fucking
you it
random.
wouldn't be like the most serious thing ever.
No, it's fine. No, I enjoy it.
We'll wrap it up there. Is there anyone else you want to like shout out?
It's such a weird fucking spot to wrap up. All right, bro. We are we cooking? No. All right. We're done. We're done here now. Yeah. Big shout outs to Liam, that owns Zone Smelling Salts, and Kevin McHugh, part owner of Live Large. Y'all been taking care of your boy and the rest of mine for almost 5 fucking years now. And I'm very honored and humbled by how much they have given, supported, stayed with me when I went through some fucking crazy shit. And not once did them motherfuckers ever flinch or knew that I wouldn't be back. So, to undying gratitude to, there's some real fucking sponsors, man. No fucking bullshit promo code shit. I'm talking like, take fucking care of us like we're family. So, shout out to those two. Also, we're dropping new Bear Down Steel Smelling Salts in about 6 weeks. So, me and Liam have been working hard on that. So, I'm super excited with that. Shout out to everybody at the cave crew, for just making all this shit fucking possible for me, for staying behind me, for taking care of the place when I couldn't be there, for agreeing to take care of it if one day I just can't be there, as grim as that sounds. And shout out to my ref team, man. Shout out to fucking Eric. Appreciate everything you do for me, man. Appreciate everyone on the ref squad. But it's very honoring and humbling to be here with you and just see all the shit you guys have done in a very short amount of time. And it makes me happy that we're doing what we're doing because we get to see people like you who also are like-minded and want to see this shit grow as much as we do. So, like I said earlier, I sincerely hope this gives you as much as it's given me.
It's been the best journey. Yep. Like, it's been hard, but it's been the most worthwhile and most rewarding.
Every day is worth it.
We definitely don't walk in here and it's like, I hate it here. It's no, I love it here. I will be here as much as I possibly can.
And we jokingly say it, but we don't really mean it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, there's always those days, but
oh yeah.
I said it the other day. I wish we never did this shit. But
we could just own up our own garage gym. Nah, we would get sick of each other. I would just shout out Pinnacle Health. That is our telehealth clinic that helps get you feeling exactly the way you should feel. Like me and my testosterone.
You should have segued that out of the hot dog thing, man.
Right.
You're like, speaking of glizzies, these boys helping me get mine right. Eric, you want to shout anybody out, man?
Sure. My coach and business partner, Aesthetic and Strength, Aaron King. Without him, we would not be meet directors for this man, helping people in Maryland lift. Travis Rogers and so many others that have helped me grow as a referee and to be where I'm at today because of their knowledge and their caring.
Man, I've run really hard to take a cheap shot at you earlier, so I might as well do it now. Dude, when we were sitting right there and I had fucking Daniel and Justin over there looking at me for clients, I was like, 2 people I coach in here, and then I kind of like started to look at you and I was like, hey man, remember that one time we were super close to getting together and you were like, nah son, I'm going with Aaron. I almost took that cheap shot at you earlier on the podcast. So fuck that. Clay.
Nah, no free clout.
Nah, man. I wasn't asking you if you were shouting someone out. I was literally saying your name, and I was just saying, man, it's been a privilege, man. You're a cool dude.
Yeah, you too, man. Appreciate you. Sean's been, Sean put me on to you years ago. You've definitely been somebody that he's looked up to for the longest, and I've admired you from afar, just because just watching, learning, watching your meets, and then looking at your stories and stuff, and just your will to, and what you've been doing to every day, just find a different way to give back to the sport, and just not being, just no thought of walking away from any of this shit is really just not only is it a testament, but really is literally how we want to carry ourselves every day with this shit, and we both appreciate the fuck out of you.
That's why we rode this way with WRPF.
Yep.
As soon as we knew where you were going,
went. Appreciate that, man.
Yep.
I really do.
Yep.
All right, I want to end it on one more note, right? Because as we said, and it sums up everything too. Everybody sitting here in front of you at this table gives to the sport. So I want you to know, anybody listening to this, watching this, if you compete, that's for you. If you coach, you make money. That's for you, right? None of that is giving back to your fucking sport. And I know there will be some people who have different opinions on this, and that's fine. Fuck you too. If you want to make a difference in your sport, get out there, do something, become a ref, right? Volunteer your time, help these dudes set up gym events, help do something productive that you don't directly make money off of, man. That's not given to the sport, right? And once you start doing shit like that, it'll also change the game for you too. So I truly believe that if you really want to make yourself a better lifter and better at the sport, that it needs to come from more than just one side of the platform.
Hell yeah. Definitely. So true. Yep.
Keep this goddamn gym clean.
Yeah.
Leave it better than you found
He was talking to you, bro.
Put the fucking clips back where you got them from.
Yeah,
We're tired of waking up. We're tired of coming in this bitch every morning on a fucking 30-minute hunt for a clip. Because you people jamming in the most awkward fucking places, man. Like, God.
You talking about clips or glizzies?
Both of them.
Jamming them in all these weird ass spaces. I can't get it out.
Tired of it.
My back hurts.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.